What's going on, guys? KEVINCAGE here with another crypto update. I hope everybody's doing well, and a long time no see. I know it's been at least a couple weeks. So I got super busy out of nowhere, and I've been helping my fiance move to the States for work, cleaning up the property here in Puerto Rico, dealing with usual doctor stuff after the pulmonary embolisms, and I still have scarring in my lungs, so if my voice goes in and out or my breathing seems weird, that's why. But, you know, just typical life stuff. So I am back, and for today's video, I figured we'd do an October review and go over some of the biggest updates we've seen lately for Ripple and XRP, especially because we know that Ripple's annual event Swell is coming up quick on November 4th. So if you enjoy this video, please hit that like button, drop a comment down below for the algorithm, and let's dive right in, no nonsense, and just straight info. Alright, first up, so on October 9th, we had Ripple expanding into the Kingdom of Bahrain through a strategic partnership with Bahrain FinTech Bay. So this strategic partnership, or this move, extends Ripple's presence in the Middle East, building on the Dubai regulatory license that was secured earlier this year. And this FinTech Bay, or BFB group, is the leading fintech incubator in Bahrain. And they partner with government bodies and others to further accelerate the development and adoption of blockchain and digital assets. So we have Ripple the company working together with the BFB to accelerate Bahrain's digital asset ecosystem through proof of concepts, pilot projects, and blockchain education programs, showcasing solutions across areas such as blockchain tech, cross-border payments, digital assets, stablecoins, and tokenization. And they say right here verbatim, as well as ultimately offering our digital assets custody solution and stablecoin, the Ripple US dollar, to Bahrain's financial institutions. And just like this blog says, this is just overall a really big initiative to create more opportunities for pilots and proof of concepts, talent development, and new solutions that are going to shape the future of finance. And just keep in mind that Ripple holds over 60 plus regulatory licenses and registrations in various global jurisdictions, including the DFSA license. This is the Dubai Financial Services Authority, and this is granted back in March, making Ripple the company the first blockchain-enabled payments provider to be licensed by the DFSA. Alright, next up, so we already covered this, but this is going to lead into future videos when we cover more about Africa and the overall payments market there, because it's in the trillions of dollars. We know Anafric, formerly called MFS Africa, I have a little write-up right there. I'm curious on any updates regarding this specifically, but we do know that recently, the first of this month, we have the Ripple US dollar expanding through partnerships throughout Africa. We also had, on October 15th, crypto interoperability, why global regulatory convergence is key to stablecoin fungibility. And this outlines 5 key takeaways, or a blueprint for global adoption. So we had Ripple the company with this global digital finance group co-author this report, The Fungibility of Stablecoins, Unlocking Cross-Border Payments or Fragmenting the Global Financial System. And it comes down to these 5 key takeaways that are outlined. So number 1, stablecoins already solve real-world problems like B2B payments and digital payroll. We have number 2 for interoperability. Interoperability has to be built in from day 1. Number 3, we have regulatory harmonization is the biggest barrier and the biggest opportunity. And as it says right here, I mean, we have to think about every jurisdiction, country, their rules, their definitions, their laws and regulations, and heck, even in their own native languages. So those are huge obstacles, and creating walled gardens that limit fungibility is not going to help anything. So that is why it's a huge challenge, but also one of the biggest opportunities for international cooperation between everybody. Number 4, we have stablecoins should be boring, so they should be reliable and predictable for payment instruments. That's it. They don't have to be speculative. And number 5, standards and definitions will delay global usability, so it's so important that we do have and agree on a shared global standard because that's essential for usability. And I couldn't say it better, they say a lack of shared legal classifications and technical standards creates friction and uncertainty. Adopting common frameworks for compliance and messaging is the critical groundwork for a truly functional and global system. Now, there are 2 more things that are important and relevant in this article, so we can see right here this Basel Committee on Banking Supervision to consider a pause and recalibration of the Crypto Asset Exposure Standard, SCO 60 or SCO 60. And this is a set of proposed global minimum capital requirements that banks would need to hold against their holdings of crypto assets. So these standards aim to provide a global sound framework for banks engaging with these emerging asset classes and ultimately manage and mitigate risk in the financial system. However, we have this SEO60 could create a fragmented market by discouraging bank participation, as the capital requirements are overly punitive and don't align with actual risks. And this could potentially push a growing and innovative sector to operate outside the regulated banking system. And other than that, this blog just ends with highlighting its MOU, or its Memorandum of Understanding, with SBI Holdings, so between Ripple and SBI, to distribute the Ripple US dollar in Japan. We can see how this serves as a great example for real-world exploration of how a global asset can operate within a specific national framework. Alright, next up, so we have iTrustCapital officially adding XDC. So I saw this the other day, and I do think it's pretty interesting because, to my knowledge, XDC is not available on Coinbase yet. So really cool to see that iTrustCapital has made an asset that is not even available on Coinbase available on their platforms. They're linked in the video description. If you create an account, make sure you use promo code KEVINCAGE8. We also had this news: Coinbase Asset Management and iTrustCapital partner on Bitcoin yield strategy for IRAs. So we can see that iTrustCapital, along with Coinbase Asset Management, was sharing this on October 16th. So this partnership, at least initially, with this first-of-its-kind integration with Coinbase Asset Management, or CBAM, is going to enable accredited investors in the CBAM-managed fund strategies to hold their participations in tax-deferred IRAs. And we can see that this integration is going to debut with a CBAM-managed Bitcoin yield strategy, so investors are going to be able to earn yield. And this entire integration follows the big news that we had back in August with the Trump administration signing an executive order to usher in actively managed crypto strategies and 401ks in retirement accounts. So we'll have to keep tabs on this. It looks like this integration is expected to launch in Q4 of this year or early Q1. So right here we have Bitcoin and earning yield, and I would love to see, and I expect to see someday as regulations improve, this to be available for other assets, and ideally not even just for accredited investors, but that's going to take time. Alright, now we're going to do some rapid fire to get through these last 3 blogs and cover some big information related to Hidden Road. So on October 15th, we had Ripple expanding global custody footprint into Africa through new collaboration with Absa Bank, ABSA. So we have Ripple, the company, bringing institutional digital asset custody to South Africa, and every time I see South Africa, I think of the BRICS nations. So we have Absa, one of Africa's leading financial institutions, becoming Ripple's first major partner or custody partner in Africa. So just like they say in this blog, Africa, a massive continent, is experiencing a major shift in how value is stored and exchanged. Recognizing the importance of providing our customers with secure, compliant, and robust custody solutions for their digital assets. And as we already pointed out, with Ripple announcing it's supporting Africa-based payments provider Chipper Cash with crypto-enabled payments technology, as well as the arrival of the Ripple US dollar in Africa. Alright, next up, on October 16th, we had Ripple break into corporate treasury with a $1 billion G Treasury acquisition. So they announced a $1 billion acquisition of G Treasury, the global leader in treasury management systems. So why is this $1 billion acquisition such a big deal? Because this brings Ripple directly into the corporate treasury market, where they can be serving Fortune-level clients. We have Fortune 500 CFOs and treasurers need to be equipped to manage stablecoins, tokenized deposits, and other assets at scale. In this acquisition, we have Ripple's infrastructure and now G Treasury's digital asset infrastructure and decades of treasury expertise. And together, Ripple and G Treasury are going to be helping clients or customers unlock idle capital and move money instantly. And most importantly, managing tokenized assets or tokenized deposits in stablecoins at scale. And notice they say this right here verbatim: tap into the multi-trillion-dollar global repo market via prime broker Hidden Road, earning more on short-term assets. We also have a quote from the CEO of G Treasury calling this acquisition a watershed moment for treasury management, and just pointing out that this marks Ripple's 3rd major acquisition in 2025 alone, following the purchase of prime broker Hidden Road and stablecoin platform Rail. Alright, now we're going to save the best for last. So we know back in April we had Ripple agrees to acquire prime broker Hidden Road for $1.25 billion in one of the largest deals in the digital asset space. And we went over this several times, going over Hidden Road to migrate post-trade activity across the XRP ledger, discussing institutional DeFi, the Ripple US dollar becoming the first stablecoin for efficient cross-margining between digital assets and TradFi. And we finally got this news on October 24th. It's prime time. Ripple closes Hidden Road acquisition to bring prime brokerage into the digital age. So the acquisition is complete and they are now Ripple Prime, making Ripple the first crypto company to own a global multi-asset prime broker, which is a huge deal. So as we scroll down, we can see Hidden Road is now Ripple Prime. So I'm really glad that this acquisition is complete. I mean, this is an example of something taking, 6 to 12 months in some cases for major acquisitions with due diligence and M&A attorneys and CPAs doing qualified reviews or quality of earning reports, QOEs. It's crazy. So I'm glad to see this finally went through. And one of the craziest things they say in this blog is this. In fact, since the initial announcement of the acquisition, and keep in mind the original was all the way back in April, we can see Ripple Prime's business has grown by 3x, and additional growth for new and existing customers is expected. That is absolutely insane. So point being is that Ripple Prime's business has already done a 3x. We are slowly but surely seeing support for institutional adoption of digital assets. And they even say right here, as well as the use of XRP will complement the services offered within Ripple Prime. We can see today the Ripple US dollar is being used as collateral for a number of prime brokerage products. We also have certain derivatives customers have already opted to hold their balances in the Ripple US dollar, which is expected to grow substantially in the coming months. We have back in July, the Ripple US dollar RLUSD was ranked the #1 stablecoin for stability, governance, and asset backing by Blue Chip, who gave it an A rating. We already know this previous announcement, which is absolutely huge. The Bank of New York, or BNY, will serve as the primary reserve custodian of the Ripple US dollar. And this is one of 5 major acquisitions by Ripple in the past 2 years alone. So we can see Treasury Management System provider G Treasury, we have Rail for stablecoin powered payments, we have Standard Custody, we also had Medico, which is now just Ripple Custody. And we have to understand that all of these groups are all integrated under one enterprise umbrella, and that is a very big deal. We also have the founder and CEO of Hidden Road, Merk Ash, is working directly alongside Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse. So I think this is really obvious at this point. We have Ripple the company building a complete institutional ecosystem. You have custody globally. We've seen expansion in Africa, ecosystem expansion in Bahrain, a $1 billion treasury arm, and now a global prime brokerage network. And per usual, guys, nothing shared is ever financial advice. And my 2 cents, my speculation, not financial advice, is that if Ripple pulls this off, they could become basically the end-to-end backbone of institutional crypto. We have to think from payments to custody to compliance to stablecoins to treasury and settlements. And that is the definition of Web3 in motion. I know it's been a volatile month the past couple weeks, but we have a lot of things going on. And also, we have Ripple Swell coming up super quick, so I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Hit that like button, and I will see you in tomorrow's video. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to smash the like button and let me know your thoughts down below. You can find all links to my crypto resources, including tools for charting, trading bots, wallets, portfolio trackers, and exclusive discounts right in my link tree in the video description. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.